in the interest of Lazarius Richardson. We're here for a permanency review.
Melinda Powell for the department. The St. Francis Permanency Specialist today is Sylvia Garcia.
Lorraine Lucero on behalf of the father, Mr. Richardson, Your Honor. He had advised that he would be present today, so I'm not sure if I can't see him since I'm on the phone, so I'm hopeful he's here.
He is present, Ms. Lucero.
All right, thank you.
Savannah Kincaid on behalf of Miss Pineda.
Who is also present.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just making sure that the record reflecting Ms. Pineda is also present.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the child.
Melissa Limas with CASA.
All right.
Sylvia Garcia, Permanency Specialist, St. Francis Ministries.
Okay. Then Ms. Garcia, what do we have new since your court report was filed?
So currently for the child or the parents?
You started whichever one you want.
Okay, so far Lazarius is actually doing very well in placement. They are meeting all his needs. They are actually trying to get him enrolled possibly to either do a daycare so he can have better socializing skills and just be around other kids his age. Or they're trying to get him into like a Region 16 program that would do like an early pre-K program. So that's what placement is working on currently with him. But other than that, he's doing very well there. He's a very smart 2-year-old. He knows his colors. He knows his ABCs. He could, if he's playing with his cars, he can tell you exactly what color each one of them is. So, he's doing very well. As far as the parents go, so dad has completed some BIP courses enough for him to start a visitation. We did request for him to start having virtual visits, so that is something that is going to start up very soon. And then I know that he is still drug screening. That's something that we have to, make sure that he is doing his drug screening where he is at. He is complying with the LPS worker and he is making himself available to that worker. And then with mom, so she was in the month of May and in the middle of June, she was employed and she currently is still employed, but she switched over jobs. And then she is currently being evicted from her current home, and she also got her vehicle repossessed.
Okay, let me just stop real quick. Ms. Pineda, I need you to turn your video on if you can do that. All right, go ahead, Ms. Garcia.
Since then, though, Ms. Pineda has been able to get with Esther's house, and she just has to, they've said that they could possibly take them in. We just need to do the application this morning. And then I need to be able to speak to the director and just kind of give them an update of where we're at with the case with her permission. And so that way they can get her going. Basically what their program does is just housing and helps them get on their feet. This kind of all just trickled down once the kids were, placed with her and stuff. So she is trying to get back on her feet so that it's not a barrier for her.
Okay. So it'll be housing for her and the other children?
Correct.
All right. Is she complying with everything else?
She is complying with everything else. She's let me come in and see her. I do have to see her weekly. So since we started the reunification, she does let me come and see her. She is willing to drug screen. So yes.
All right. And visits with mom, how are those going?
Visits are going good. So she is getting supervised visits with placement. They do them there at her home. So that way the other kids could be involved since she can't transport the other kids with her. So they've been going very well. Lazarius kind of has he kind of has to work on being able to get used to them because he's not used to them and he's not used to just kind of, I guess, like not the chaos, but just the familiarity with the sisters, and then having more siblings because he's used to just being the only child at placement. He does have his cousins that come and visit, but it's not the same as whenever he's bonding with his own siblings.
Okay. All right, anything else from the department?
I don't have anything else, Judge.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kincaid.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is Miss Pineda currently employed?
Yes, she is.
Okay, so did she just switch jobs and needs to get a little bit caught up? Is that what the issue is?
Yes.
Okay, and with Esther's house, do you know how many bedrooms that place would have?
I do not know. This morning we have a meeting just to go speak to them so that we can get more information and know the accommodations that they help with.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass witness.
Okay, Ms. Lucero?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Garcia, according to the mediated settlement agreement, Mr. Richardson was supposed to start having virtual visits with his son after he completed 3 BIP classes, 3 counseling sessions, a psychosocial. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And he completed those. It's been quite a while. And I understand maybe you haven't been on the case that long, but he completed those requirements quite a while back. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you know why his virtual visits were not started back then?
I do not know why his virtual visits were not started back then.
Okay. You stated that he will be starting those visits. I mean, when will those start?
They should start no later than next week.
And how often will those be?
Those would be weekly virtual visits for 1 hour.
Okay. Now, also in the mediated settlement agreement, once he completed an additional 3 BIP classes, he could start visiting in person if he was able to travel from where he lives to Amarillo. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And is it your understanding that at this time he's already completed 12 BIP classes?
That's correct.
And in addition, he has finished his counseling, correct?
Correct.
And he's completed his parenting?
Correct.
And he's completed a drug program, correct?
Correct.
And has he been drug screening for the department?
So he has the drug screened in the past. Since I have been on the case, I have not sent him to drug screen, but I have not requested it either just quite yet. So I couldn't tell you, if he is or isn't complying because I have not requested it myself.
Perfect. But according to the report, if I'm recalling correctly, he was negative on his most recent screen for the department, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Then so as of now, I know that you're going to set up the virtual visits. Is the department, since he's already complied with the second step of the mediated settlement agreement, are y'all ready to allow him to come to visit the child here in person?
Yes.
Let me just interject real quickly, Ms. Lucero. Yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna happen because that was in a mediated settlement agreement, and so Mr. Richardson, you just have to coordinate with them when you can come, but you can start seeing the child in person as well as the virtual visits.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
Okay. Ms. Zavala?
Yes, Ms. Garcia, so we've got this case and then we've got a number of related cases involving siblings. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so there are a number of issues regarding how all the visitations fit together, things like that. And we're working on trying to have a big meeting on that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So in this case, Lazarius needs to visit with his siblings that are here in town, and then he's got siblings that are out of town. He's got to visit with mom. He's got to visit with dad. So there's a lot of moving parts to coordinate.
Correct.
Okay. And so we've had a little difficulty with some of the siblings logging into visits. Would you agree with that?
I would.
Okay. But we're working on that. And then right now, in order to facilitate visits with mom and the siblings that are with mom, there is a weekly visit every Saturday, where placement goes over for multiple hours every Saturday so that mom and Lazarius can have that visitation. Is that
Correct.
okay? So that's a pretty huge obligation on placement.
Yes, it is.
Are we working to figure out how we can kind of modify that visit so that mom and sisters still get lots of contact, but maybe placement doesn't have to be over there every single Saturday for multiple hours?
Yes. So the last conversation I had with placement was that we were going to have a meeting with Miss Pineda and them and myself so that we could come up with a better plan so that the visits could continue, but so that they could also have some type of relief because they have been devoting every Saturday to making these visits happen.
Is that what they agreed to? In the MSA?
They actually weren't a party to
Yeah.
the MSA. If I don't have it in front of me, and I apologize, but I mean,
I understand, but was the agreement that mom would have whatever that time is? I don't know. I'm asking.
yeah, and that's what we've got to go back. I think it was designated as to a certain amount of time. I don't know that the location or exactly the date was specified. So we've got a meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 12:30 for at least not the parents, not the placements, just caseworkers to kind of work through all those issues to kind of figure out a game plan. Because we don't want to take away time from mom. That's not the intent at all. It's just trying to figure out place of the visit and different possible dates just to give everybody some flexibility.
Okay, I mean, hopefully we don't have to do this, but I'm just gonna comment that in order to accommodate Mr. Richardson's in-person visits, it may be there are times where Lazarius just misses the sibling visit.
There are a lot of moving pieces that need to be coordinated. I foresee us having this meeting tomorrow and then having a bigger group meeting with all placements hopefully next week, to just kind of coordinate how all of that's going to work, because it has been difficult to get all of the siblings involved in those visits on a regular basis.
Your Honor, if it's helpful, it's not specified that it must be on Saturdays.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
And Lazarius's placement they're very cooperative, and they have a good working relationship with Anna. I think this will be resolved. We just got to figure out, what dates work best, what times work best. I think with changing work schedules, changing living places, it just may take some coordination.
Mr. Richardson, where do you live?
I live in Arlington, Texas.
In Arlington? Okay, I was thinking it was
Yeah.
kind of in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. All right. How often do you think you're gonna be able to come up here?
Oh, to be honest, I don't think like very often. That's why I kind of just want to do virtual visits right now, if possible. Just in order until I can, just kind of like come down there more often.
I mean, this is gonna be it's gonna be kind of a transition thing. I mean, you're gonna have to try to come here at least some to have some in-person visits before we're gonna start sending the child there with you.
Yes, I understand.
So I'm just trying to get so that these people have some idea, if you're talking about once a month, once every 2 months, can you give me some kind of idea about how often you might try to come?
I could try once a month, once every 2 months.
You think you realistically you can do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, that gives, while they're meeting about all this, that gives them some idea of,
I understand. Yes.
what they need to try to work around. So, okay.
Yes.
Would it be on the weekends typically when you would come?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And sorry, Your Honor, I had a few other things
Yeah, go ahead.
to address. I know that this case is a little bit different from most PMC cases. I would ask that going forward that the court reports include information on what's going on with the parents. Normally, when we're in this stage, parents may not be involved, but because they've got services to work, I didn't actually realize that dad was engaging in doing anything. So I didn't realize that those visits weren't happening when they should have. So the only information I get in terms of what parents are doing are things like the court report. So I would ask that go back to the kind of formula for TMC cases. And I think that's it. I was able to visit him in grandparents' home. He's doing great. I had a question because I had thought that St. Francis was working on the daycare issue. And when I spoke with placement, it kind of sounded, and I may have misunderstood, but it kind of sounded to me like they thought St. Francis was working on the daycare issue. So I don't know kind of what the status is of that, because I think it would be great for them.
So the status with the daycare is that because the primary caregiver, which is his grandfather, is disabled, he can't qualify for the daycare benefits without them knowing exactly why it is required that he go to daycare if he has somebody that's in the home all day, basically. There is an exception form that needs to be filled out, and the kinship specialist that sees them once a month, whenever she comes out, she was going to bring that form and kind of just get more information so that they could fill it out so that she could turn it in.
Great. Right. But I do recommend that continue. I recommend that visits with mom continue and visits with dad start up. Mom's been very cooperative, and I'm really glad to see that dad's working services. So I'm glad that's going to get started up for him.
Okay. All right. So this is, I want parents to understand, and then I'm going to want to hear from CASA too, but at this stage of all of this, the department's permanent managing conservator, I mean, they have permanent custody. There's a final order in place. You're left in the case, you're possessory conservators, you have your parental rights. And so, we are still working some services, but I just want to remind you both. Lazarius has been in care now for 614 days. I mean, that's his whole life. So y'all are doing well, and I want that. I mean, I encourage you to keep it going, keep it going. But you need to understand, and I think we lost
Your
Mom.
Honor, yeah, I think my client dropped off.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. So to resume what I was saying, I mean, you all have got to be mindful of the fact that a lot of time has passed already. And my job at this point, and basically everybody on this screen, our job is to achieve permanency for the child. And if that can't be with mom or dad, then, you know, maybe that's with grandparents. But I want you all to understand what from this point on, you know, what I'm going to be looking at. And that is, how do we achieve permanency for Lazarius? I mean, in other words, he either needs to be at home with one of the two of you, and, you know, you're not together as a couple. So there's going to be, you know, how in the future would you all co-parent Lazarius, and what would that look like eventually? And we're here to help you guys sort of work through all that. But, you know, what we got to see is that everybody stepped their game up and is ready to take on that responsibility. And so, you know, this has just already been a long time for this child. So y'all are doing well. Don't take what I'm telling you as that I'm being critical. I'm not. I want you just to understand what the goal is and what the finish line is from this point forward. You know, I mean, we don't have termination of your rights on the table right now. If that ends up being the result, the department's got to modify, and there's other things that have to happen. What we're still trying to do is get the child back with you all, and in some sort of, you know, arrangement between the two of you about how you're going to spend time with him. So, I mean, I think we still have some work to do, but Mr. Richardson, why I'm trying to pin you down about how often you may be able to come is, you know, moving forward, if you're going to be a part of the child's life, you know, you got to start being a part of the child's life. And that's going to just require you to make that a priority. And I know it's tough being long distance, but you got to start. I mean, I think your everyday life and your everyday schedule has got to start contemplating, how is that going to look with Lazarius in it? Okay. So, I mean, these are going to be the questions. Every time we get together is, okay, are we any closer? And okay, when Lazarius goes to see Mr. Richardson down in Arlington, who's going to look after him while you go to work? You know, what's the plan going to be? And so, I mean, we aren't at that point yet, but you got to start figuring out, what does it look like? What's the plan? How am I going to handle that? If you want this child to come home to you guys, and you're here, so I assume that you do. And, you know, thank God for grandparents that are taking good care of him. But, you know, I'm not sure their intent was that to be forever and ever and ever. Amen. So, all I'm just telling you guys is, this is what I'm going to be looking at every time we get together, which isn't all that frequent, you know, unless we need to make it more frequent. But the next time I'll see you all is in December. And, you know, that's 6 months away. So in 6 months, I would expect that you all should have finished all your services. You should be well on your way to, you know, having the child, you know, either back in one home or the other, and or some sort of visitation regularly going on. I mean, you know, and 6 months will fly by faster than you think. So what I don't want to have happen is we get together every 6 months, and all of a sudden I look at the calendar and I realize that he has now been in care for 1,500 days. You know, So I don't, again, I'm not coming down on y'all. I want you to look forward at how you're gonna make this work and how this is gonna happen. If we need to get y'all some co-parenting counseling, we can do that. If y'all struggle to communicate well, or if you struggle to get along, or, if it's gonna be a fight about Lazarius, and, we need to jump on that and start addressing those things. So I'm gonna ask you all to unmute and just tell me, can you work together?
I think we can. I think we can work together.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you understand, y'all each had a part in making this kiddo, and you each need to have a role in his life, and you each need to have time with him.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay. All right. So, Casa, I would like to hear from you.
Thank you, Judge. I'm covering for Yesenia. She had a family emergency today, but we did go out to visit all the children, and they're doing very well. Lazarius is doing really great with his grandparents. We have no concerns there. I do want to encourage the parents to really kick it here for Lazarius and for these and encourage mom to try to get her license. I feel like if we get that taken care of, that might help alleviate that transportation issue and really look into that MSA to see how we can help grandparents to lessen that load a little bit for them. I think that would really be beneficial to Lazarius and Miss Pineda and also the grandparents involved. And if Miss Lucero or Sylvia Marvell, if one of them could please provide us with Mr. Richardson's information. We also were unaware that he was currently making progress in his service plan. So that way we can reach out, contact him, and also support him in any way we can throughout this process. But other than that, Your Honor, we're in complete agreement. I can't speak today, excuse me, with Miss Zavala, and I just hope that in these meetings that these concerns and issues can be resolved for the betterment of Lazarius and for these visitations to move forward.
All right. Okay. Anybody have anything additional?
Your Honor, Lori Lucero here. I just want to be clear. I know that Mr. Richardson has some BIP classes to complete that I just wanted to check with Ms. Garcia. Besides the BIP classes and the ongoing drug testing, if there are any other services that he still needs to work on, because it's my understanding that he's done with everything else, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
From my understanding, he is done just the BIP classes and the ongoing drug screening.
All right, thank you. And Your Honor, I would ask, I don't know what happened. He hadn't reached out to me to let me know about his, to just recently everything that he's already done. And I don't know I don't know what happened, but I guess he fell through the cracks there as far as his virtual visits and things like that. So the child is placed with his parents. So I would ask, instead of 1 hour a week, if maybe if his parents can agree, and I know they have a lot going on, if maybe we could do maybe 2 visits per week virtually.
I certainly have no issue with that, Ms. Garcia. I don't know what they have, and at his age, let me just ask Mr. Richardson, would it be better to do 2 45-minute visits a week? I mean, he's just, sometimes it's really hard to keep kids that age engaged on a virtual visit.
Yes, ma'am. I was kind of thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're breaking up.
Oh, no.
You might try turning, I'll let you turn your video off and let's see if that helps.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I said yes, ma'am. I would definitely agree. And 45 minutes, 45 minutes would be okay with me.
Yeah, I mean, something between 30 and 45 minutes, I think, with a 2-year-old is about the best you're going to get.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, no reflection on you. It's just, that's just 2-year-olds. So, yeah, I don't have any problem with that. Ms. Garcia, can we at least just see if that's maybe possible?
Yes, we can see if that is possible.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, I wish everybody good luck in this meeting about the visits. I appreciate you all taking time to do that and try to address the issues. Please be mindful of Mr. Richardson and that he's in the picture out there now, and we gotta work with him and in the distance where he's gonna have to travel from. So, okay, then I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I will continue the child's current placement. And I'll see y'all back, like I said, in December. I hope that we really have made some big headway by then. And so I really appreciate parents' efforts at this point in time. Ms. Pineda, I hope you get this housing situation straightened out. You know, we're a little bit like, you know, hitting the rewind button here. So, you know, work really hard to get that resolved. Okay, thank y'all very much, and I'll see you in December.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.